do it.
Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You?
You're not going to let that go.
Oh, are you? OK, yeah. I mean, I do apologise about that intro. It's woken everyone up, hasn't it?
Michael Gove levelling up. We've got a new Culture Secretary, Nadine Dorris, and she's looking out for any hint of bias. So, you won't find any here.
Sorry, can I just check? So the new Culture Secretary is most famous for eating kangaroo penis.
No, that's unfair. She ate an ostrich anus.
We
followed it.
Was that at the conference or when she was on Amsterdam?
Anyway, she ate the anus and now she's talking out of it.
Build back butter.
Build back beaver, I say.
I mean, what's he think he's doing? I mean, what does the phrase build back butter actually mean anything? I might be the first one, but do you think he should be sectioned? Under the Mental Health Act.
By his Build Back Butler?
Build back... Yeah.
Build back beaver, which, you know, I'm like, you've had enough beaver, Boris.
But that was the whole theme of the conference. Build back better.
Yes.
And the first announcement was that they weren't going to build those extra houses after all.
Or the hospitals.
No, so it's build back nothing.
Yeah.
But who doesn't build back better? Who goes, let's build back shitter?
I
That
can
doesn't
think of
make
a few
sense anyway.
construction companies.
Yeah.
I love the way Rishi Sunak appeared at the conference. He's been watching the Americans. He came on and he was going... Who's he pointing to? Just...
I thought he was showing off an invisible budgie.
What was Matt Hancock up to at the weekend?
He did the marathon.
He did the London Marathon.
He's obviously done enough running lately.
What were the crowd shouting at Matt to encourage him to finish? Any ideas?
No.
No, let's have a look.
Cars, lorries,
Hoover.
petrol station closed. There's fuel shortages.
Yes, correct.
What's it like in Australia, Ross?
I mean, apparently there's a global shortage of drivers. It's not just in Europe. It's not just here. Apparently, according to Boris, global shortage.
Is there?
I've just come from Australia.
Yeah.
Loads of lorries.
Is there? Perhaps he got lost.
Yeah. I flew back through Singapore and I didn't hear a single person say, "Oh, there's no lorries about." At one point, I looked out of the plane.
Yeah.
A lot of lorries.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it's bullshit.
Yeah.
No, it's actually quite hard to siphon now because the cars have... Not that I've tried, it sounds like I've tried. Cars have a ball now that you can't just stick a hose in and...
Can't you?
And then put it into... You can't do that anymore.
You've got to be careful you don't do it to a Tesla.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you've... Tricky.
And that kind of physical action needs to be mistaken, can't
Exactly, yes. Please don't turn that into a gift. But if Tesla want me to advertise their product...
Yeah.
A group of drivers, they followed this tanker travelling from Wolverhampton to Overston in Northamptonshire. They followed it for nearly 70 miles because they thought it was full of petrol until they discovered it was tanker full of cement. And what did they say to the driver when he stopped at a building site rather than a petrol station?
Can we have a lift? We've run out of petrol.
They demanded to know why he hadn't told them he wasn't carrying petrol. Here he is in the summer being welcomed on the island of Manihi. So, on to the next round.
Oh, that looks impressive.
We're on to round two, the petrol pump of news. Yeah.
Just as well it isn't live, because you'd have a queue of panellists going all around the building.
Buzzers on fingers.
Buzzers on fingers. Oh, dear.
Yes, Ria.
Is this the release of the Pandora Papers?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
There was another core dump of like 11 million papers that just explain what we all already knew, which is that rich people put their money offshore and stay richer, and Tony Blair.
It does make you worry that, you know, our leading political party, which is in government, is entirely funded, almost entirely funded, by foreign nationals who don't have our interests at heart. I mean, I know it's a boring story, but it is sort of touch worrying. But the last two Conservative governments have promised to make offshore dealings more transparent. And Cameron said he would, and May said that they would, and every Conservative government has promised. And the fact that most of their money comes from offshore is obviously not the reason why they don't do anything. No bias here, Nadine.
It is a pretty scandalous thing. It's like allowing Saudi Arabia to buy an English football club. Comedian Mark Nelson tweeted, incredible to think Saudi Arabia are about to invest as much money in Newcastle United as they did into 9/11. Anyone know who the Magic Circle's most famous member is?
Is it Prince Charles?
It is indeed. Well done, yeah. Do you know why he got into the Magic Circle?
Because his mum asked him to make his brother disappear.
Why is the Pope not wearing a mask and the bloke on the left is?
He has, it's just slipped back onto the back of his head. he pulls those things there like that and it goes...
Here is Keir Starmer reversing a lorry.
And then when that lines up...
Hold that angle, so you'd have failed your test. I think he's an all right bloke. I think he's a decent bloke, but he's just... he seems like the first bloke that your mum dates after she gets divorced. Do you know what I mean? You're at a family do. You're all in the room going, you know what? He makes her happy. He treats her well. Yes, he's a bit of a melt, but, you know, let's just stick by him while she rebuilds her self-esteem.
What else will we be short of, according to the scaremongers?
What, no pants?
No, cotton prices are at a 10-year high, thanks to a shortage because of bad weather, wiped out the American cotton crops. So pants,
Yes, but that won't affect the pants that we already have.
No, that's true.
I mean, we're not going to live in a world without pants.
So I should have said new pants.
Yeah, you should have said new pants.
New pants.
But you didn't, did you?
I didn't, no.
Well, the Select Committee was asked to look into the handling of COVID, and their response was that it was probably, I don't know, not very good. No, they actually said it was the worst public health crisis in British history.
That's right.
So the government's COVID response is up there with the Black Death. I'm not exaggerating. I'm trying to be balanced.
Well, I mean, we all know who Stephen Barclay is, don't we? Steve Barclay, here he is.
He looks like Alan Pardew.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You sure that's not Alan?
Near enough, near enough. He's replaced Michael Gove as the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster.
You sure that's not Alan Pardew?
That is Alan Pardew.
It's a bit like Steve Barclay.
Oh, right. Sorry.
It'll do.
Oh, is that the joke?
Will it,
Yeah. There were a joke in this?
yeah, it was a joke, yeah.
Oh.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah.
Well, you've baffled me, I tell you that.
It was a joke.
So explain the joke to me exactly.
Well, it's because nobody knows what Steve Barclay looks like. We thought it'd be quite funny if we put someone up who looks a bit like him.
Well, can you show us a picture of Steve so that we can make a comparison?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we could do it.
Who is that?
Alan Pardew used to be manager of Crystal Palace? amongst others?
Charlton.
Charlton.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it clear.
You see, there was a really disgruntled bloke over there that went, West Ham. They always leave out the hammers.
What did Barclay, here he is.
Well, I'm totally confused now.
It's the former manager of Bournemouth.
It's going very well, this joke. With the, what else did Barclay admit to not doing?
Not resembling Alan Pardew in any way.
Oh, who'd like to see Jeremy Hunt with the hair of German football legend Franz Beckenbauer?
Yes.
Personally, I would find that distasteful. Yeah, go on then.
Go on, let's have it.
That's Art Garfunkel.
It's sort of like
What's going on? Doesn't anybody look like they used to?
I tell you, he does look...
Why have you shown us that?
Someone did it on Twitter for no apparent reason. It just looks... It suits him. Here is how the Australians covered one of the test launches.
While outdoing his fellow billionaires in the race to space, Amazon boss Jeff Bezos will blast into orbit next month.
You know what they call that?
A rocket.
They call it Blue Origin. Does that look a little odd to you? Joining us now for more is US correspondent Alison Petrowski-Alley. The Bezos flight will officially kick off the company's space tourism business.
Yes.
They're very professional, aren't they?
Yes.
The four-person crew going in space delayed because of wind. Anyone like
Thank you for showing us the word wind. Because I was confused by what that meant. We get treated like idiots on this show.
Would you like to see a clip of the rocket taking off?
Yes, only if it's got a caption saying rocket taken off underneath it.
Well, the Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Aalborg in Denmark, that lost money recently because they lent artist Jens Hanning £65,000 to create an artwork for them. It was intended to be displayed as piles of cash in frames to represent the average national salary in Denmark and Austria, but Hanning instead sent them this. Hanning called the piece "Take the Money and Run."
Can I just apologise that I'm not Victoria Corrin? She was meant to be doing it tonight for those of you that read the Radio Times. Is that anyone? Oh, you just sounded genuinely disappointed anyway. Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Victoria Corrin.
Lucky be a lady tonight. Lucky be a lady tonight. Lucky if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Lucky be a lady tonight.
Brilliant. You've actually got a really good voice.
Have you ever thought of having it tuned?
I thought Robert was brilliant, although I was looking at that outfit and I'm sure that you mugged me once behind an off-licence.
Do you remember what happened after last year's really short lockdown?
Yeah.
Christmas was completely destroyed.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, those horsemen really have got nothing on you, Robert.
I was really looking forward to meeting you.
It's just as well that your singing cheered us up. It's one of those two-word things, isn't it? It's sort of like it's a bit of a contradiction in itself. Social media, action figures, gourmet burgers. You know, it's sort of...
Yes, I agree with you.
You know.
Sports personality.
Yes.
Immensa have been accused of messing up around 40,000 test results, and officials are now halted testing at the private test centre in Wolverhampton. Bollocks, I've lost page 10.
That's what the scientists said.
I can visit with people and brighten their day with social stimulation, entertain and help guide exercise.
I'm obsessed with it. I love it. She seems like a nice girl, though. I put a bit of spray tan on the arms because it didn't match the face, but...
I reckon there's already a few men cranking up to trying to get off with her. I do.
Cranking up?
Well, old blokes that have to crank themselves... I mean, I'm not looking at you, Robert. Like old blokes that have to crank up to get ready for a bit of hanky-panky. Oh, I've gone on 1950s.
It's working! It's working! Quick, take the curlers out!
She is an artist robot, but when she arrived at Cairo, they thought she was a spy, and they confiscated her.
Yes, she was seized at the border on her way to an exhibition in Giza, in Egypt, where guards demanded the removal of her eyes.
Oh, how terrible.
She's only a robot.
What a lovely set of eyes. Look at her. Beautiful woman.
You've got a thing with robots, haven't you?
I just think, do you know what? I've just come across such a lot of idiots this year. To be honest.
That is a good argument. Who would you prefer, Ada or Grace?
Oh, come on, no, it's like picking your children, isn't it? Hang on, as Ada's eyes remained intact.
Yeah, she got her eyes back, I understand. Yeah.
She got her eyes back?
Yeah, I think
Did they put the right one in the right one? Because I don't want her looking at me like that.
Can you imagine anyone being asked to make a robot that looked like me?
See, I would love it. That's one I would buy.
Oh, OK. I'll be round. I can't cook, but we could smoke and take drugs.
Fine.
There's a couple, and they got a sort of thing saying you drove through Bath in your car and you didn't pay the toll charge crossing the bridge, and so you owe some £50 or whatever it was. And they said, no, no, no. And they said, no, 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 you definitely did. And they were sent a photograph of it, and there was no photograph of their car. But there was a woman walking along the pavement that had these words written on a jumper, and it read her jumper as the number plate of a car.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Here's the couple's van. Here's what the CCTV captured.
I love this.
There she is.
It's so brilliant, isn't it?
But to be fair, she was doing 70 miles an hour.
Boxer asked to sign what whilst in Newcastle?
Is it Ant and Dec Shins?
Is that their surname?
They're not related.
Are they not brothers?
No.
Oh. I thought they were twins.
No, no.
They're identical.
Are they?
No, they're not.
No, they're not identical.
What, Ant and Dec?
Yeah. Are you all right?
Ian, did you get asked for autographed?
Yeah, and I will sign the same. Perfectly reasonable. Jeffrey Archer.
Ian doesn't get asked for selfies, he does brass rubbings. That's true, isn't it? It was a big hit, wasn't it? A huge hit.
It was a huge hit. Should we sing it?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go on, Robert.
Are we anyone
You want me
that can
to?
sing it
Yes,
properly?
please.
Too.
OK. OK, we shall sing it. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Go on, Robert.
And this old girl was drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die.
Yeah!
This'll be the day that I die.
Oh, together now!
Very good. You should do this on Peston every week.
I will.
Thank you.
Have you been on it?
Yeah.
What, Peston?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on all the time. I do a sort of karaoke number. It's mostly early church music, but...
And at the Universal Studios theme park, there's a mixed reaction to the new Alfred Hitchcock ride. I mean, you probably watched the extended version of this show, which goes out at, I think, 3:07 in the morning every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, the BBC have been really giving it a push.
They have.
They've been giving it a right look. There you go, see?
Contains some strong language and adult humour. Fuck me, I never knew that.
Is that Rue Paul Merton?
Yeah.
Who had their first phone call with Boris Johnson this week after a year and a half?
Was it Putin?
Yes.
I was going to say his ex-wife, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also possible. Yeah.
It's the same as Putin asking where the money's gone.
Who has made a not-so-welcome return this week?
Insulate Britain.
Yes.
Insulate Britain.
They've been gluing more things to the road this week.
Oh, yes. Somebody glued their face.
Somebody glued their face to the road.
That's right.
I'm concerned about your head.
Yeah, so am I.
You're not going to snip yourself, are you?
Hopefully not. You'll find out if there's blood coming out.
Brings a new meaning to the phrase keeping your ear to the ground.
I mean, of all the silly things to do.
Oh, that was a very careful silly. Oh, you can spot a sitting MP, can't you? It's quite brave, though, isn't it? I mean, I know it's silly, but he stuck his face to the road.
Stuck his face to the ground.
I mean, a hand.
And it could just come off, and it could just be a face on the road.
Or a road on his face, and every time he laid down, somebody tried to park on him.
OK, that's a happier outcome.
What do you do for a living, Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with
retrofit-
trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can. See you, Cameron. Cheerio.
I love the way he just pretends to freeze.
Yeah, carpenter, eh? Oh, yeah. Trees, oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a useless job, Jesus.
Yeah. I know. What are you, paramedic? Oh, paramedic, are you?
Yeah.
What, bringing people back to life so they can breathe more air? Here is Rishi doing some glove puppetry. Never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, he's explaining the budget to the PM, isn't he?
On to round 2, and backed by popular demand from Series 33, Episode 4, it's Name That News. Here's your first clue.
Hey, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, yeah.
What's the matter?
Yes. Shut up your face.
Oh, shut up your face.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Very well done.
So do we have to get the story now?
I don't know. I've no idea. Do you know? I've no idea.
Do you need me to play it again, or are you ready?
No. That's enough.
Is there a clue?
There's a clue. The clue is literally in the name.
Shut up your face.
Shut up
your face.
Facebook.
Face.
Yes.
Oh,
Shut up your Facebook.
Yeah, no wonder we haven't done this for 30 years.
is it the whistleblowers?
Yes.
Facebook.
That's right. This. Oh, hang on. This is. I can't do that with. I can't even lean on it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
This clip is going to be appearing in the Channel 5 documentary called When Quiz Shows Go Horribly Wrong.
French Vogue, the name Nigel, Boris and Boris, and Hanforth Parish Council.
The name Nigel's dying out.
Yep.
Hanforth Parish Council closed down.
She's moving. Is she live? Is she the odd one out? She's the only one that's live now.
Are you on Zoom, Jackie Weaver?
Am I anywhere other than on Zoom?
What is the fashion magazine Vogue Paris changing its name to?
Is it Private Eye? We're changing our name to Vogue. First cover model, Jackie Weaver.
Yeah.
She's still there! She's still...
Jackie, do you not know how to end the Zoom call?
I'm just looking for Ian's address now.
I'll send it.
Are we in the metaverse now?
No.
What's he doing there?
I think that's a gesture. He kept labouring this. It's about keeping 1.5 alive. So the right hand is 1 and the left hand is 5.
And he's the decimal point in the middle.
He is.
At last we found a point to Boris Johnson. Isn't that nice?
Boris Johnson always reverts to that sort of that favourite persona that he's got, which is that of a sort of children's party entertainer. Mr. Fisty Pump.
That's not just a children's entertainer.
I think he thinks he's still listening.
It would be better if he hadn't said that COP26 was an important wake-up call for the...
Boris's carbon footprint is as big as his big, fat, lying, hypocrite face.
He topped it off when he flew home.
From Glasgow to London?
Yeah, and he took a private jet. Because he had to be back to go to dinner in the Garrick Club with Charles Moore, who he made a lord. And incidentally, is a great defender of Owen Paterson. I know we don't want to jump ahead. We don't want to get on to this disgraceful act of criminality by this government, but...
How did German artist Arndt Drossel get to Glasgow from his home in Paderborn?
He's going to mow down these two children. He's missed it.
Look, that's
my
natural
God.
selection. If they can't get out of that way...
This isn't transport. He's not moving fast.
He could be running quicker if he wasn't inside a great big metal ball.
How far did he go in that?
Well, I'll show you the route. That's where, obviously, there's a...
The channel bit would have been interesting.
There's an obvious flaw in this plan. He was going so fast that he just skimmed across it like a stone.
Maybe. Yeah.
And that's Ian Duncan Donuts. So there's a man called Owen Patterson who was paid $100,000 a year to lobby on behalf of 2 companies. He did. The Commissioner for Standards looked into him, found he was guilty, said, "You did it." He said, "I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I haven't had a chance to plead my case." He had. It's absolutely unbelievably clear-cut. And then all his Tory mates started a campaign, and the Prime Minister said, "Oh, right, we're changing the entire system now." He was going to be suspended for 30 days. They said, "No, he's not." And all the Tory MPs voted it through. I mean, they should all be ashamed of themselves. It's absolutely disgraceful. I mean, a few others, Peter Bottomley and a few other Tory MPs didn't. But basically, they said, if you criticise us, we're going to change the system.
To give more transparency, it seems to me the way to do it is that all MPs should have to wear the name of their sponsors on their shirts.
Great idea.
Like footballers. Or a sort of jokey badge that says, "I am Serco's bitch," or something like that.
Well, they've said cases should be reviewed by a new committee chaired by John Whittingdale.
Yes, who fell foul of the old Standards Committee. So why not appoint someone who's already been found guilty by the previous lot?
What was he guilty of last time?
He didn't declare a visit to a record industry due in which he took along a dominatrix.
To be fair, that's the sort of thing that could slip your mind.
Yeah.
He might have been struck for cash.
Anyway, he wasn't punished, which must have been a big disappointment.
What was Boris Johnson doing at Hull Crown Court this week?
Was he arrested?
You really cheered up there.
No, sorry, I suddenly got very excited. Oh, I know what he was doing. He was looking for new members of the cabinet. Scouring the jails. Seeing if there's anyone left.
He wasn't there. It was his doppelganger. In fact, he looks a bit like Boris Becker.
He does.
Yeah. They're both shaggers who've gone bankrupt.
That was too far.
Too far, Ian.
I agree. I think I should be referred to some sort of commissioner for
And so now...
Yeah.
Yes.
To round 2.
Yeah.
The human dynamo of news.
Wow!
That's right. I'm going to be powering up the pictures with my own energy using this arm bike. That's what it's called, an arm bike.
Blimey. I see you've got a bulb there. What's the purpose of that?
This is just for the show. I'm not actually making enough power. There's a man under the table who's just switching it on. But the point is, I'm going to give it a go. I mean this, not the man. He's safe. Fingers on buzzers.
Yeah.
Here's the first one.
Presumably, this is the war with us and France over
Yes.
fishing rights.
That's what it is. Speaking of conflicts between France and Britain, what recent Napoleonic artefact was sold last week? It was one of his signature hats. Or, as the Sun put it, Battle of Waterloo loser, Napoleon's hat. Sold for £160,000 yesterday. Yeah. You lost. You lost, mate. Beat ya. Losers. Who won the war? We did at Waterloo. Nosret Gotche, who became an internet meme in 2017 for his unique salting style.
You're telling me that became an internet sensation?
Yeah.
Is there not much on the internet?
Do you know what bay means, Ian?
It's a sort of area of water, usually.
Right. Before anyone else.
Does he do pepper with the other arm?
Don't trivialise what's on bay dance, OK?
While the world's most important people meet up in Glasgow, one man begins to wonder whether his invitation was delivered next door.
this is last week's story. Absolutely no new sleaze allegations coming out this week, as far as I can see.
Yes, that's the House of Lords. That'll be a knighthood. Thank you very much. Oh, a peerage. Thank you very much. 2 peerages now we're talking. 3 peerages.
Do you have a favourite terrible second job?
OK, go for it.
I think Ian Duncan Smith and the hand sanitizer is my favourite one.
Now, Ian Duncan Smith, it's a consultancy for a hand sanitising firm.
An alcohol-free hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Can't even drink it.
He thinks...
No, presumably they need somebody with, well, dirtiest hands possible, and he was the best candidate by a mile. Surely.
And Boris Johnson has faced anger from MPs on all sides. How has he responded to that?
By refusing to apologise.
And staying away.
Yes. He didn't even turn up to the debate.
Yeah.
He said he had to visit a hospital.
Maternity ward, probably.
He stated Britain is not a corrupt country.
Yes. And this is classic, the Prime Minister. He thinks if he says it, it's true. Whereas we all think the opposite.
I think the fact that he says it reminds me, Charlie Brooker once said, imagine if you moved into a new home and some people knocked on the door and said, hello, we're your non-dogging neighbours. How did the Environment Minister, George Eustace, describe who knows about Lord Wolfson of Tredegar?
I watched a very strange speech he gave in which he fantasised about what would happen were a normal gentleman on the beach taking an erotic photograph of his wife and someone happened to be breastfeeding in the back and he caught her nipple in his photograph. Would it then be committing a crime? And you thought, you've given this a lot of thought.
Yeah. What if a man was taking a photo of his own wife on the beach for his own gratification and might unintentionally include a shot of a woman he didn't know with her breast out, suckling?
You just think, don't you, you could have just given it to one person to proofread before and go, I don't know, mate, I think I'd maybe take the bit out about getting off on your wife.
That I thought was romantic. The idea of taking...
You thought that was romantic?
A man taking a picture of his wife for his own gratification. It was the suckling that I stopped thinking about that, Lord. How was Nadine Dorris embarrassed this week?
She woke up.
To encourage people to eat vegan food, what has a food company created? A Swedish company?
Oh, they've done a vegan burger where it tastes like human flesh. Yeah.
How do they know?
I don't know. I've not had it. I'm not here going, oh, yes, I had it with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Harry saying, it's appalling the lies that have been told, and he's done a deal with Netflix. Has he seen The Crown? Unbelievable. I mean, he should...
I thought you meant then, has he seen The Crown? Like, I think he knows what happens in the end.
Yeah. But, you know, his mother's best friend has just resigned from The Crown, saying they're telling a load of lies. This is rubbish, this programme. Harry, no, I'll have 100 million, thank you. We are allowed to think they're a bit bogus.
He doesn't write The Crown, Harry. He's not involved in The Crown.
No, but he's taken 100 million from Netflix, who produced The Crown. This is what they call conflict of interest. We can't lambast our own MPs and say, Harry, oh, no, not him. He's got a beard.
To be fair, it's an artist, 24/6, who posted online a portrait he'd done of Her Majesty. Did you see the portrait?
It looks a bit like Alan Johnson in drag.
He did Prince Andrew as well, do you want to see?
Yeah.
Oh, he's like a thumb.
Strangely true to life.
The BBC said they're not aware of any dress code. The BBC always adheres to the highest sartorial standards.
Absolutely.
So
Look
therefore...
at me for like that.
Anything you say just sounds sarcastic.
Yeah, I know. It was a hell of a mess at my wedding, I can tell you that. I do.
There's a new 10-point impartiality plan
Good.
And everyone who appears on the BBC is going to have to go on an impartiality course.
Yes, I'm signing up to it right now. I'm totally impartial, unlike the Prime Minister, who's corrupt and an idiot.
When Brian Cox was starting out, he saw there was another Brian Cox in Equity.
Yes.
So he wrote him a letter
Yeah.
saying, "Dear Mr. Brian Cox, we are both actors with the same name, but I was wondering, as you have not worked in some time, if I could use the name Brian Cox."
Oh, my God, no.
But the letter came back to him, and it was only then he realised he'd already signed up to Equity.
Right to himself.
He mistook himself for himself.
And made a little bit of a dig at how long it had been since himself was last in work.
Peppa Pig World.
Peppa Pig World.
Sorry, I apologise. Is that Peppa Pig World?
You should apologise, it's your leader.
You know what happens? I come on this show,
Yes.
right? And I'm the sacrificial Tory lamb. And then I go away and I go through months and months of Tory training. I get my 7 commandments of Toryism. And once I've kind of been through all of that retraining and I kind of decide to come back on this show, and then my colleagues spend 7 days of creating the biggest shit show possible on this earth. And I have to come here and defend it.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
Okay. I think that's very unfair of your colleagues. I mean, it's not 7 days of a shit show. In my estimation, it's about 10 years, but...
Because true equality for me will be when I can be as rubbish as a white man and get away with it and be Prime Minister.
If he's that terrible, why don't you resign?
Because my resign is not going to make a difference. If he's that
Oh,
rubbish...
it would to me. I'd be so happy and I'd think so much better of you.
Yeah, but you know, if he's that rubbish,
Yeah.
why don't the British public stop voting for him? That's what democracy is about. And ultimately, listen, you can say what you want, and we can all sit here and talk about how bad it is.
Can I just say I'm so pleased to be on your show, and I think it's absolutely...
Should we have a look at him at one moment in his speech?
Forgive me. Forgive me.
Thing is, because it's Boris Johnson, him saying forgive me, that could be about anything.
The CBI stand for Chief British Idiot.
They've invented a phone for a dog to call its owner.
Right.
It uses
yeah.
its bottom, doesn't it, to do it?
No, it doesn't use its bottom.
Yeah, I saw this story.
No, but you didn't see the story because it doesn't use its bottom.
Well, I saw a story about a dog using its bottom to dial a phone.
It does that. I don't know what website you were on. But this is specifically about a dog using its mouth and the ball that makes the phone ring.
Yeah, but then you train the dog to use the phone, then you've got to wait for evolution for it to learn how to speak. Yeah. Meanwhile, the phone bill's racking up, and somebody's going, no, is anybody there?
You just sound like nuisance calling, really.
Exactly, wouldn't it, just? Exactly.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, you're the one who's been phoning my wife. What will they think of next? That's astonishing. I didn't even know what we were looking at there. A dog's arse slowly moving out of a room. If I wanted to watch that sort of stuff, I could watch Prime Minister's Question Time.
What food stuff would you compare yourselves to? I'm thinking beef Wellington for you, Ian. Paul?
Yeah?
I think you're egg and chips.
It's a bit classist, isn't it? Beef Wellington, egg and chips.
Yeah, it is.
I suppose I'm lucky I'm not a kebab line in the gutter. Reeking of double diamond.
Phil? Pot of yoghurt, maybe.
A pot of yoghurt?
Yeah.
Not where I would have gone.
That's...
probiotic, that's healthy, nothing wrong with that. Better than egg and chips.
I'm literally cultured.
Yeah. Taida, you would be caviar. There you are, that's your caviar. Yes.
Beef Wellington, caviar, yoghurt, egg and chips.
I've made it worse. I've made it worse for you, I'm sorry.
I don't have to come here to be insulted. I can walk down any high street in this country.
I thought its original job was squeezer of the royal toothpaste. He used to squeeze Charles's toothpaste out.
I hope that's not a euphemism. I think you'll find you've got plenty on your brush now, Your Highness. Now you made that joke up yourself, then.
It's by the artist known as Portraits 246. And he's very pleased that his work was shown, actually.
Oh, no, he's not done one of me and Ian, has he?
Been in touch, and he's done, done a likeness of both Paul and Ian. So let's have a look.
Oh, God.
Here's Ian. Here's Paul.
It's a new variant virus. Let it snow, let it... Oh, and that's the new Christmas decorations. We're all encouraged to hang one up, just in case we go under the mistletoe. Some people have got very cross, saying that asking you to wear a mask occasionally on public transport in a shop is more or less the equivalent of a fascist dictatorship. And Britain literally has gone overnight from a nice, pleasant, liberal place to... essentially, it's the gulag.
Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers. Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers.
I think wearing a mask is easier than trying to keep a fart in your trousers.
Well, why wouldn't you want to keep a fart in your own trousers?
That's their idea of freedom.
OK.
Is just let the fart out into your face.
It's what they fought for.
It is.
Stop all that carrying on right now. There's no reason to call off the canoodling.
Words that I haven't heard for years, like snogging. I haven't heard snogging for a long time, not in public, but canoodling is another one.
But on the BBC Breakfast, they were worried about snogging, so one of the presenters started talking about oral activity.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
I think even in November, when everybody was in full lockdown, I think they were still having leaving parties and sort of, I don't know, sleepovers and, you know, pyjama parties and Secret Santa and, you know, Twister and stuff like that. At Downing Street, it was basically a massive orgy. And we were all sitting at home...
looking through the window.
Crying.
What can you buy in Australia to help you express your opposition to vaccinations? Actually, it's a man in Victoria who's selling from his Facebook page a prosthetic rubber arm, which he says you can use to fool the nurse into not giving you the vaccine in your actual arm. Yeah, that's it.
This man has no pulse. This is a severe storm which affected a lot of people, mainly in the North, Scotland as well.
Mime artists, they were struggling as a result.
Yeah.
What televisual casualties of the storm were there?
Oh, Ant and Dec's glorious programme, I'm a Celebrity, Give Me Some Money.
Right, we better go before we see Alan's Johnson.
Didn't he used to be somebody in the government?
He's run like 3 of the great offices of state, isn't he?
No, he was in the government.
He was the Chancellor.
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was big.
They'll have a hard job selling that chair after this.
I saw Alan the other week. He seemed perfectly normal. I met him at a literary festival, and he... Oh, no, he was naked, actually.
There are rising tensions along the border between Russia and Ukraine, with Ukraine claiming that Russia is planning an invasion within the next few months. Who's going to come to the rescue?
I think no one. I think that's the worry.
Actually, it's Liz Truss.
Right.
She's coming to the rescue, yeah.
What, in a tank?
Yeah.
That's the entire British Army.
So what poll has Liz Truss topped lately?
She's the most popular person in the Conservative Party.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I just love her sort of...
Paul, you're laughing. It's true.
I know. It just shows you what the rest of them must be like.
It's because she's so charismatic, isn't it? It is, the way she sort of says things like pork markets.
Yes.
Sort of,
She sasses
pork
people.
markets.
Yes.
It's just so winsome. When it all goes a little bit quiet at Conservative, Christmas parties, she just shouts, pork markets.
OK, what did the Queen lose this week?
Barbados.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she lost Barbados. Prince Charles was sent to oversee the severing of the nation's ties with the monarchy.
He's just within reach of taking over from his mother, and there's nothing to take over.
Why would you turn up to a ceremony where somebody's basically telling you to fuck off?
It's just old-fashioned British good manners.
Turn up. Fuck off.
Before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
Ah, Robin, now I know why they call you the Boy Wonder.
On which note we say thank you to our panellists.
What, on the note of Robin giving Batman a blowjob?
Oh, God, here's the big one. That's a little party badge. And no matter how he does it, he just keeps saying there wasn't a party and all the rules were obeyed. How does that work? Either you had a party or you obeyed the rules. Or you're a terrific liar. Which she was. Help me out, John. My voice is going.
Big night partying.
Yeah.
Are you going to call your new voice Boris because it might be gone by Christmas?
No, it was an apology. It was pitiful. It was a classic new apology in which she said, I'm really sorry if this was a distraction. I'm really sorry if we seemed to make light of the suffering of other people. You didn't seem to make light. You did make light. You were having a laugh about what lie.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas?
What's the answer?
I don't know. It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine.
Just be clear, it's not. Is cheese and wine all right? No. It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
This is recorded. This fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great, is it?
So who else is very cross? You're all very cross. Who else is very cross this week?
They literally look as if they are laughing at us. You, me, all of us.
Very, very cross.
That's not a trailer for this show, is it?
How did Dominic Raab embarrass himself in the interview with Andrew Marr this week?
The police have been very clear. They'll look at any letter, but they don't normally look back and investigate things that have taken place year ago. I don't think. I don't think.
Well,
in the absence of some form
let's leave
of
retrospective to one side. That's a strange thing for the police to say, but let's leave that to one side.
I mean, we can only think of the great train robbery where they said, well, they've already got the money. What's no point in looking for them.
How has he been having sex this year? I don't want to sort of lay my own marital cards on the table, but I am, you know, and I don't do his job.
He doesn't.
His sperm is more transmissible than Omicron. It just must be everywhere. I mean, it's like... It's contact.
Don't say it's
ready.
everywhere. I work with the man.
All you have to do is share a butter knife with him and you're pregnant.
I'm amazed you're allowed on.
I mean, what a week to have me on. Totally high chance.
To be fair, you could have been hosting any programme in this series and it would have been like this.
That is true. Do you want to see some men trying to walk up a slippery street?
Yes, please.
Oh.
Are they coming back from a Downing Street party? Oh, hello. He's not going to last much longer. Yep. Oh.
On the subject of white powder, where have the police discovered significant traces of it?
In Parliament, they tested loads of places and found tons of cocaine. In 11 of 12 places, wasn't it?
Some finds have been made near MPs' offices and the offices of the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary. I have to say that the Prime Minister's office, as somebody with some insider information, has a public toilet near it. It could have been anybody.
If I knew I could just go and shit next to the Prime Minister's office. Presumably you can't just walk in off the street.
If you're willing to go through security, you could definitely go for a wee in the House.
Oh, I'm willing to go through security. I would have a full cavity search to piss next to it.
On a cheerier note, does everybody want to see a picture of Rishi Sunak's Christmas card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That is it.
It rather gives the unfortunate impression that someone's hung themselves from a Christmas tree.
You are the spirit of Christmas.
Put it in front of me and I'll say what I see.
Anyone here been to Peppa Pig World?
Don't be stupid.
I've been to Peppa Pig World, mate.
Have you?
Yeah, of course I have. Bloody adrenaline junkie, aren't I? Been to Peppa Pig World, I've been to CBeebies Land, been to the Peter Rabbit Farm in St Albans. Just love the thrill of life, man. But Peppa Pig World's all a bit corporate, man. Yeah, I went there in March 2020.
Oh, just before the lockdown?
Yeah, it was the last thing I did before lockdown. I should point out, now it's gone on this long, I did go with my child.
A veteran of the Silk Cut Factory testing unit baffles the youngster with a story from the old days. Do you want to see an American woman singing an anti-vax version of All I Want for Christmas Is You?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yes,
Come on.
yeah,
absolutely.
That'll cheer us all up.
I don't care about the variants because of natural immunity. I just want my freedom now. The Constitution will show us how. Make my dreams come true.
Yes, there we go. We just heard that she's beaten Piers Corbyn's fart in your trousers to win the anti-vax Christmas #1.
They said everyone in number 10's been working really hard, so they should have a party. And in the Treasury and the Department of Education, and but not in the NHS or in any way you work. No, you haven't been working hard. You've been doing bugger all year, haven't you? I can see it. Look at this lazy god.
Oh,
don't groan. It's the Deputy Prime Minister.
How else did he get in trouble this week?
Oh, well, I mean, it's impossible to make it up.
I'm not trying to bring you down, Paul.
No, but I mean, he's likely to have said anything.
Contains recipes from Tory MPs past and present. What culinary offering do you think Boris Johnson has provided?
Eton mess.
John Major red hot curry?
Well, you want to get that book?
I do.
Find out what David Cameron did with his sausage.
Pigs in blankets.
This was an advent calendar. When you opened up one of the things, meant to have chocolate behind every single square as you opened it up, and one of the squares didn't have any chocolate behind it. And the message was, don't always expect chocolate.
Chocolate only. I quite like this bloke. I think he's quite good.
Who is he?
It's good to encourage disappointment in life. Because that's what's coming.
Why is businessman Carl Baxter worried that he may be stuck with 1,000 festive jumpers?
Oh, it's because they look like willies.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Tried to order one.
Here we are. Let's have a look at them. The spotted silk.
Oh. It just looks like a thermometer to me.
I don't know how you have your temperature taken.
Would you wear one of them?
No.
And what's the jazziest thing you own?
I've got pinstripe pyjamas.
Have you? Really?
No, to be fair, he's got a velvet-lined cummerbund, haven't you?
Yes.
This is the news that it's Christmas time. Hooray!
Oh, dear, that was disappointing.
Well, you've got to prepare yourself for that in life.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting there. They'll boo next time anyone says Christmas.
Well, let's try that out.
OK.
No, don't us out yet, but we'll take you by surprise. Christmas.
There's your trailer.
Why has this sketch of Ghislaine Maxwell gone viral?
Oh, because that's her drawing the courtroom artist to try and spook the courtroom artist out.
Sketching the artist who is sketching her, who was sketching her, sketching her. It all gets a bit sketchy after that.
Very clever little ruse when you're on trial for what you're accused of, to start playing mind games publicly.
And particularly with the court artist.
Court artist.
Whose job isn't great.
Scripts reveal that the clangers, what?
They were swearing.
Regularly, yeah.
Swearing clangers?
Yeah. The gibberish was made up of swear words.
Yes, on Swanee Whistle. So they had script, and then he replaced it by Swanee Whistle.
Oh.
We're not going to swear, but it would be...
And why might he be put on Santa's naughty list this year?
Because he's about to invade the Ukraine.
Intelligence suggesting an invasion is possible early next year. Luckily, Boris Johnson has called him up.
Going to make him party treasurer and give him a peerage. That usually shuts them up.
How has he responded to the threats?
Oh, I don't think he's very bothered, is he?
He's told NATO that if they try and interfere in the Ukraine, he will deploy mid-range nuclear missiles in Europe. Merry Christmas, everyone.